the founder of Planisware first met in the AI department of Thales, which is a French defense group. Well, all working in AI in the 90s, working on expert systems, the beginning of machine learning, and so on. So, and when we started Planisware, we always had this idea that we should at some stage integrate AI in our products. So, and always be looking at what's going on the AI field. What's happening in 6 years ago, we started to build a team. There was a new algorithm, new machine learning algorithm coming that probably were very good to do forecasting model with our customer data. So we hired a team from a French lab, and we started to develop our predictive engine. So basically, it's a system that learns from your customer data, and allows you to make some forecast on the, for example, the task of the duration of a task or the amount of resource you need to do some work. We has been delivering this new module 5 years ago with some customer testing it, but I think the market wasn't very ready for that 5 years ago, and we see a lot of demand on this module today from our customers because people are more aware about what you can do with AI. What's very important is when you want to do forecasts with your data, you need to focus on data quality. And if you don't have good quality of data, you will not have good quality of forecast with your data. It's important for you to invest into the data quality, and you have to know that we've also been delivering a new module, data quality analysis modules, that helps you to improve the quality of your data and to set up some rules to perform better with your data. And more recently, what has been coming is what we call the large language models. There is a lot of noise about that, and we have been trying to figure out what we can do with that. The problem with large language models are all focused on language, and answering to questions, generating text. And in a portfolio management, we're talking about numbers, duration, schedule, and so on. So what can we do with it? The first thing we have been doing is improving our bot, Oscar. So Oscar now with large language model is really able to answer better to your questions, and especially answer questions about the documentation. Also, what we've been doing is generating content with large language model. The large language models are trained on the data, most of the data which are on the web and books and so on. And what's interesting is in our space, in some of our space, especially in life science, which is a regulated business, because it's regulated and because all our customers in the pharma and med device are sending the data to the FDA, so large language model are able to make some very smart answers to some questions. Is how can I perform this clinical trial? So we bring you templates, and which is quite good if you don't have already these templates in the database. So we also be able to provide some good ideas to identify the risk of some activities. So we're integrating this ability to generate content with Planisware last year. It's working in some space, less in other space where you don't have data in the web. If you are working in a space like, for example, the defense, obviously everything is confidential. So Oscar will not be able to provide good content in your space, but. Large language model also bringing some very interesting features, and we are currently working into it. The ability to understand the content of a text, and it's probably not obvious for you, because before, when we wanted to retrieve some information in text, you have to look at words. Now we can look at the meaning of the words, and it's quite interesting. We have been delivering a module called Talk several years ago. It's the ability to aggregate discussion on objects. So basically, if you are emails or team discussion, you can aggregate discussions on a project, on activity, or whatever. And with the large language model, we're able to understand what is in this discussion and to interpret the data to give you some indicators. For example, you will be able to tell you that you have many people talking about problems or issues or bugs or whatever in a project, and you can have some metrics about that. That's the first thing. Second interesting thing is we can look at the description of an activity and understand what it is. So it can be helpful. For example, you are starting a new project and you describe in an activity, and the system can retrieve similar work in your database. A work which is similar in terms of meaning, but not exactly similar in terms of words. People can express things differently. So you will not be able to retrieve this similar work just using words, but the system is understanding what you are writing and able to say, okay, you have somebody who have been performing a similar work as a company. Maybe you should have looked at it and maybe just to take inspiration from it. So it will really bring a better ability to reuse and and to use the knowledge you have in your database. So what's interesting is we are working on what we call auto tagging. So basically, just to give you an example, you have not set up activity types in Planisware. So you are just putting description in your activities. And now with large language model, with what we call RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, you can have Planisware identifying that this activity is of this type. It's a quality assessment work, or it is a development work, or it is an integration work. And it's quite interesting because if your data is not really well structured, the system will be able to find some way to structure it dynamically, and it will help to organize the data, to retrieve the data. It will also help our predicting model I was talking about, we did 5 years ago, because our predictive model is just using the structure you set up in the database. With that, you will be able to use information stored into text in order to do better forecast. So, as you see, plenty of nice things are coming in Planisware. We will bring them with the next release, and I'm sure we'll find some other nice ideas to increase the value of our product and bring more value to you in the future. Thank you.